Greetings and salutations, YouTube. It's Hadrian here. Welcome to a new video. How's everyone doing today? Hope you guys are all doing fantastic. Today is going to be, as you can tell from the title of the video, it's going to be kind of like a handbag reveal, a new addition to our collection, handbag squad, and we're also going to be doing handbag rehab on it, and I'm super duper excited because this is an item that I have been wanting to hopefully add to my collection. And I was lucky enough to be able to purchase one at a reasonable price on eBay. Now you're gonna see probably why the price was so reasonable once I show you guys the bag, but here it is. And also a quick disclaimer: when we do this handbag rehab, I am not a professional. And these are just things that I learned like along the way of like collecting and restoring handbags and doing research and all that stuff and talking to people. And yeah, so this is like, take everything with a grain of salt, though all these things have worked very well for me, and hopefully this is going to be a successful handbag rehab. And also all the items I'm going to be using, I'll be linking down below in the description box as well, so if anyone's interested in purchasing any of it, it'll be down there for you guys. But here is the bag. You can already tell probably what it is from the size of the bag and the little name on the bag. So this is a Celine. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to show you guys this bag. I am beyond the moon over this, but here it is. And I've already looked at it. Sorry I didn't unveil it like properly, like with a proper unboxing, but I figured this can kind of like be both, you know, this video can do both of those things for us. But here it is. This is the Saline Nano, and I've wanted one so intensely, and I wanted it in a different color other than black, though black would have been really nice as well and probably a lot easier to restore. But I don't know, for some reason I love colored bags. I love like lighter colored bags for some reason, but I don't know, that's just me. But this is the Saline Nano. I don't know the exact color, but it's in like that tannish kind of beigey color, and the bag has definitely been loved very well. You can see that there are signs of wear primarily on these bottom corners on the front, and there's a lot on the handles, especially on the back right here. The back does show a lot of color loss, and this isn't like staining, this is actual color loss. The top layer of the color has been removed, and this is actually like almost like the raw leather that has just been absorbing oils and like getting dark and all that. So that's what that dark brown spot is. And there again, there's also rubbing down here on the bottom corners, and there's also some sort of like marking or stainage right there on the bottom of the bag. So let me show you guys the things that we're going to be using today to fix up our handbags. I'm going to set this guy off to the side, and the first thing we're going to be using, which is always usually like the first thing that I use in my arsenal of things for handbags, is my Cadillac boot and shoe leather lotion. This is the best stuff. It works beautifully on almost every type of leather, just not on suede or nubuck and leathers that are untreated. And this stuff is amazing. It's like my favorite. Though there are lots of great leather lotions out there, this one just happens to be my leather lotion of choice. And then with that, a microfiber cloth. We'll put that over there. And then I have, excuse like all my stickers on top, but this is like my set of Angelus acrylic leather paints. And in here, there's just an assortment of different colors. And we're going to be using these colors to custom make a paint that is the same color as this. We can cover it up, and it'll hopefully match perfectly and look fantastic. So, and then we're also going to be using a paintbrush. And I also do have, this is Angelus Leather Prepare and Deglazer. Normally, if I'm going to re-dye something, I would use this, but since this is going to be a color touch-up, you don't necessarily really need this at all. Plus, we're going to be using the acrylic leather paint, and we're not actually going to be dyeing. Though this is really great for cleaning the brush afterwards. And yeah, so with that being said, let's get into our handbag rehab. I hope you guys are excited. I know I haven't done one of these in a while, and I just wanted to be able to come back with a bang, and I think this one is going to be a really exciting one, especially because one of my first and I think most popular handbag rehabs was when I rehabbed my Celine Mini, my tricolor, and that one was really fun. Oh, this also does have a crossbody strap. It was just inside, so I'm going to set that over to the side as well. So again, the first thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that our leather is nice and clean and conditioned before we start this process, and nothing does a better job than the Cadillac boot and shoe leather lotion. So let's get on with this first. And sorry you guys if you hear like a weird kind of like buzzing sound. Someone is like, there's a lot of construction happening on the street, and literally like 2 houses down, someone's using like a circular saw. So anyways, the first thing we're going to be doing is using our Cadillac boot and shoe care. I always like to give it a good shake, and I actually apply it onto the, and this is like clean by the way. I know how there's like stains on it, but they're not coming out anymore. But I just like to put them on here, or put the lotion on here, and then I just put it on the leather and condition it up. And the logo right here, it's like some of it has come off, which happens because it's like in the gold. I'm totally fine with it, but right now when I cleaned it a little bit, like some of it like came through, and I think there was just like a little bit of dirt on some of it, and that's actually pretty good. So we're not gonna fidget with that too much, but again, I'm just gonna apply this with the microfiber cloth. And what this does is that the conditioner, the leather lotion, it conditions and it lifts the stains on the bag, and it also, the microfiber helps like absorb everything and bring it in and clean it up as well. So we're just doing this on like the whole entire bag just to make sure everything's nice and conditioned. And then if you did have a bag though that was really dry, I would do the same step first just to clean everything and make sure all of like that dirt and stuff is off of the bag. But then after that, I would actually apply using my hands. So I would put the lotion directly onto there and then just like rub it in with my finger. And then I would just like let it sit and just let the leather lotion absorb into the leather. That way you can get the bag as conditioned and moisturized as possible, because the leather of the handbag is just like our skin. Our skin needs moisture, and when our skin is dry, it gets kind of like gray, and it's more brittle, and it's like more susceptible to like getting like a cut or something. So that's the same thing as this. The leather is skin, and just conditioning it will make a world of a difference. It'll help prevent, but not like 100%, but it will help prevent like color transfer. It'll help against staining and other damage that may occur. And all that stuff on the bottom just like literally came right off. Did you see that? It just like came off really easily. So that's good. That's like a spot that we don't have to really take care of then, because I thought we'd have to paint the bottom as well, but it looks like it was just dirt. So that happens a lot too. Sometimes you think something is one thing and then it's actually just dirt. So again, sometimes just using the leather lotion is all you really need, because sometimes things are just dirty, and then when you can use the leather lotion to clean it up and lift the dirt, then that is like perfect. And also the leather lotion is a good way to tell if there is missing color. Like you see like right here, it's not like really too dark, but then when you get the leather lotion on it, it turns dark like that. That means that the top layer of the color has been removed, and you're gonna want to hit that up with the leather, because that like it was light right there, right? Even though like it wasn't super obvious, but that's gonna start looking like this handle right here over time. So, and then you can do the same here on the front. You can see that there's a couple spots like right there and then right here. They weren't as dark before, but once you hit it with the leather lotion, it just becomes super apparent. And the same too here with the handles. So I'm just going to continue with this, and then I will get right back to you guys, and then we're going to start the next step. But I'm just gonna do the same exact thing on the back, and then I'll be right back with you guys. Alright you guys, I am back, and I got my 2 paintbrushes. I just got 2 different sizes. It doesn't really matter, but you can use whatever size you're most comfortable with, but of course, like, depending on the size, you can get into, like, special nooks and crannies, you know, etc, etc. But I just got a paper plate, and so mixing the colors is probably the trickiest part of this whole thing of like doing a color match. I've done other color matches in the past. I did a bright cobalt blue Alexander Wang Rocco bag. Yeah, the Rocco. And that one was a lot of fun. This one hopefully will be a little easier. That bright blue color was really, really difficult. But I'm gonna use like some pink maybe. Definitely some brown. And then white. And you can like kind of see like the undertones of the bag. And make sure, like, a good tip too when you're doing this is to make sure you're using natural light, because fluorescent or like whatever lights, like artificial lighting, will totally mess you up, let me tell you. So just make sure that you're using natural light. Go by a window or something, and then that'll yield the best results. But I think I just need these 3 colors. I think these 3 colors will help me make this. It's probably going to primarily be white and pink, and then just like a splash of brown, and then that'll hopefully get to this color. Again, this is all trial and error. And then also paints, when they dry, they do dry a little light or a little dark, so you do have to kind of like play with it a little bit. A good tip too though is when you can mix it up and see like how it matches exactly with the bag. You can actually test like a little part of the bag and then let it dry, and then as long as you do this within like the next, like, once it dries within the next like 30 minutes, it'll come off. But so when you do a little test, like, you can do like a little test on like the bottom or whatever of the bag, and all you need to do is get some of your leather lotion and the microfiber cloth, and you can it'll literally just wipe off. So it'll totally be fine. If the color doesn't match exactly, then you can just try again. The only thing about that though is that the paint does dry very, very fast, and you don't have like a huge window of opportunity in time. So another tip I can give you is to do this, to mix your paints inside a covered bottle that you can close. Though, I mean that it's a little bit trickier, just because I don't have another bottle. But yeah. But even if you don't, like, the paint does dry very, very quickly, so you'll see whether or not it matches fairly fast. So anyway, with that being said, let's get into the mixing process now. So I just like to use a paper plate. Any paper plate will do. Sometimes you gotta mix these up a little bit, because sometimes the paints just separate like a little bit. Not always. I find like certain colors separate more than others. And for this bag, we don't necessarily need a ton of paint, so I just want to be a little generous. And what I like to do is I kind of like to separate the paints, so I'm not gonna like put like the blue, like the brown, like right next to it. But I don't want them to like touch, because like the brown color, this is the one that we're gonna want to add in the slowest, because it's a dark color and you're not gonna need that much. I actually probably put way too much. We probably won't even use all of that, but we'll see. And then I'm gonna mix the pink. And the reason I'm using the pink is because this kind of has like a kind of like almost like a pinkish reddish undertone in it, so that's where we're gonna get that undertone from this pink. Though if it's not strong enough, we can always put like a dollop of red. But I think like this will totally be enough. But the pink does dry a lot lighter too, so okay. So I think we are set, at least good enough to make our sample. Again, we're going to primarily use the white, and I'm going to use the biggest brush just because that is the one that is going to mix the best and all that. So I'm going to get some of that, and we're going to mix it into the white, and then grab some brown, maybe a little bit more brown, maybe a little more pink. I should probably actually use a smaller paintbrush, but totally okay. And I think I want to add, like, see, like, this will happen while you're doing this. I want to add, like, a little brightness. So I might actually want to add a little bit of yellow. That's why I like to have the, like, this set of colors. Because you never know what you're going to need. And if you have, like, I think, like, this is, like, the best set to have. Because, like, it pretty much has every color. Unless you're trying to do, like, something neon or something. And that, it's usually, like, enough. If you catch my drift, but again, this is like the most nerve-wracking part, and I'm like, I don't know why I use the biggest brush. Don't be like me and use the biggest brush, okay? That was like bad advice. But as you can see, we're kind of getting to the color. So I know it's hard to tell on camera. But if you're trying this on your own, like, you'll totally, like, see what I mean, like, when you're trying to do this yourself. But I'm just gonna keep mixing this color until I think I get the right color, and then I'll come back with you guys and I'll show you guys how I apply it onto the bag. Alright guys, I am back. It has been a very tumultuous time here in our medical lab, but I finally got the right mixture. It is right there. I had to use pink, white, yellow, orange, red, blue, green, brown. Did I mix a color? I think that's it. So I literally mixed together every color imaginable to get this. But I think we finally have the correct color combination. Oh, do you guys see that? Let me zoom it in just a tad. Look at how perfectly that matches. Hopefully, I did a little spot. Hopefully it still looks like this once it, once it dries completely, but look at how good that looks. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, so that, like, right? Like, that looks really, really good. It's a little bit light right now, but it will dry, like, darker once it's, like, dry. So, let's zoom out just a tad. And plus, like, when the light reflects on it, since it's still wet, it's, like, bouncing back the light. But I think it's a pretty, good color match for what we are trying to achieve at the moment. We might have to do another layer as well. I'm hoping this doesn't dry too dark, because that always happens. Like, it dries a little bit darker. Like, I did do a test spot, but anyway, so there's that. Now let's do this side right here. And we're literally going to just paint the whole back. The back of the bag is, ooh, this is going to be really dramatic when we do the handles. This one's going to be a good transformation. So, I'm doing the back first, just because it has the most work needed. And to speed up the process, you can use, like, a hairdryer or a heat gun if you so wish as well, which I think we might end up doing, because I don't want the paint to dry and not be able to do the rest, because it's pretty difficult to color match again once you get it. So look at that, like, that is looking amazing. This is so good, you guys. I am so excited. Oh, I'm so excited you guys are here with me to do this. And again, you might need more than one coat too, so just let it dry first. Again, this stuff does dry really quickly even without using a hair dryer or anything. But I'm trying to do really thin coats so that we don't mess up the what's it called? The pebbling, sorry, I couldn't think anymore. The pebbling of the leather. So but it is looking fantastic. So there's that. Okay, so now we're going to do the bottom corners, and then we're going to go back over that again in a second. But let's do these bottom corners first. And you're going to want to be careful, be very wary of getting the, what is it called again? The stitching. Because the stitching is a different color, and it is like a little lighter, so just be careful. If you need to like paint a portion that is really close to the stitching, use like a really small brush, but oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so excited. Oh, we cannot forget to do the bottom of the handle. Sorry, I missed like a tiny little portion right here. Don't want to miss it. I'm also trying to work as quickly as possible because we are losing light. And sometimes too, if you don't want too much paint on the brush, you can get a little paint on the brush and then just like wipe a little bit off on to the paper plate that you're using. And then that way you're not saturating the bag with too much color. And oh my gosh, you guys, I'm really excited with how this is turning out. There was like a little mark on there, so I was like trying to get that as well. Just want to make sure that we get. And a thing too is that you can do, especially when you're trying to like color match, you can feather the corners just a little bit so they give it like a little bit more of a smooth transaction, or smooth like transition transaction. And that too will help a lot with making the color look better. And then now I just want to get, I know there was like some spots on the bottom, so I'm going to like move you guys way more back. There we go. Sorry, I think we were like zoomed in a lot. I apologize for that. And oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so excited. I cannot wait to use this bag. This is like literally one of my dream bags. Okay, and if you get it on the edge coating, you literally just use your finger and like wipe off the excess and it'll be totally fine. And also sometimes when you're painting and you're not using as much product, sometimes the leather will absorb the paint a little bit and then it'll turn darker. So that's another thing you have to, oh, I should have told you guys that before. That's another thing you kind of have to look out for, is sometimes the leather will absorb some of the color and then it'll come through darker. So that's why, like, if you do a test spot on a spot that is good. Like the paint and the color or whatever is good. So that way, when it dries true and not like, it's not going to be absorbing into the leather, because when it absorbs, sometimes it turns out a little bit darker than it actually is. So right now I'm just doing a quick second coat. This doesn't have to be like super exact. You can kind of just like feather through. And this is just going to give it more also of a natural look as well, because you don't want to cake on the color. So you can just do like a light addition, which is what I'm doing right now. And I'm trying to just like get this really, this is probably the hardest spot because it's like in the middle of all this other color. So I'm just gonna like fan this a little bit and let it dry. Especially that one little section. You just want to make sure that it is good. Forgot to do this little section right here in the bottom. So I'm just gonna do that. Sorry if I like cover the camera with my hair. But we're just gonna fill that in just a smidge. And this is when like a small brush would come in really handy, so you don't accidentally get some on the stitching. But like I said, if you do get it on the stitching, don't worry, because if you do, like, just like wipe it off right away and it'll just come off. So don't like be too stressed out by it, because as long as you remove it within like a couple minutes, like it'll be fine. Like it'll be totally fine. Alright, so I'm just doing the rest of this a little bit more. And then I'm going to let this dry and I'll show you guys how it looks, and then we're going to do the other side. So I'll be right back with you guys. Alright, you guys, this is how it's dried and I think it looks fantastic. It's still a little bit more glossy than it would be. Like, it still doesn't really match the rest of the bag. But once it's like completely dry after like a day or two, you can just like, you can condition it and then it'll like kind of like, it'll mattify itself a little bit down a little bit. Cause like always when it's, when you just apply it, it always looks a little bit more shiny than it is gonna be once you condition it. So that's how that looks. I'm running over to the front so we can get to this side, and I still have paint. Whew. Okay, so this side does not have as much like, it doesn't need as much of a help as the other side. So we're just gonna do this really fast. And you see it's primarily just on the handles and stuff. And again, like I said, you just apply like a light coat at first and then you just come back. So even though it doesn't completely cover the like the staining or like the darkening, the second coat should be just fine. And sometimes you might need a third coat, but I'll leave that at your discretion, just like how much coverage you get the first and second time. I can't stress enough though to try and do as light of a coating as possible each time, because you don't want to cake on the product. So like I said, just be very like sparse with the paint. I actually switched over to another paintbrush too. So this one's a little bit smaller and I can control the amount of paint more. But as you can see, as I apply the paint, it's kind of just like the dark spots are kind of just like disappearing, which is what I am going for, right? And we're trying to like make it look as natural as possible. And if you work quickly and meticulously, you can achieve a really, really good result. Again, like I said, light coatings. Do not go too crazy. Don't forget the bottom. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is turning out beautifully. Even better than I thought it would turn out. I'm so excited. I don't know why I got a British accent. And now I'm just kind of like finishing up. The bottom. I just really don't want to want my paint to run out because I just got such a good match. I remember that happened on my project with my Alexander Wang. Again, for this, if you get it on the edge coating, just like wipe it off with your finger and you'll be good. Then we'll just do this side really lightly, really quickly. We're almost done, you guys. Okay, so we are pretty much done with the bag. So it's like a little sticking to the back because like the box is like plastic. But it is pretty much dry to it's dry to the touch already for sure on the back. And we're just waiting for it to dry completely, but we are pretty much set. I'm pretty much done. I'm just going to do like one more coating up at the top. But it looks fantastic. I'm so excited. It looks so good. Okay, I'll be right back with you guys and show you guys the final results. Alright, you guys, I wanted to show you guys the bag. It is completely done and I am super duper excited. I think it looks really fantastic. There are tiny little spots right here on the side that I still want to fill in just a little bit more, but I am just waiting for it to completely dry. I'm already like getting at it though, so I can like fill in just a little bit more. But it is looking so good. I am so stinking excited. I cannot wait to use this bag. So thank you guys again so much for watching. Hope you guys had fun checking out this handbag rehab, and hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys have attempted any handbag rehabs lately, and if you guys like these, I will definitely do more. So again, as many thumbs ups as you can. Let's try to get to like 500 would be amazing. So if you guys enjoyed the video, let's see if we can get to 500 thumbs up. I think that would be like the most thumbs ups I would have ever gotten, and that would be like really awesome. But again, hope you guys enjoyed the video. This bag is gonna be in my collection forever. I just love it so much. Thank you guys again so much for hanging out. Say hi down below too if you guys are new to the channel. I love hearing from you guys as well. And also let me know if you guys have found anything really cool recently at the thrift store, and if you guys have rehabbed them, and if you post them on Instagram, tag me and I will definitely give you a shout out in my Insta stories. And I love you guys so much. See you guys all later. Bye. Alright guys, so check it out. I found this really awesome pillow. It has like an octopus design on it. And whenever I look for pillows, if they're not new from Target, I always look for the ones that zip off, which this one does over here. So you can take this out and wash it. And check out the pillow. The insert is down. And these pillows are usually really expensive, so just the insert itself would be worth it. And this is only $4.